Hello again, everybody, and welcome. Today is the 9th day of February 2026, and here I go again. So, you know that I was talking about winning a contest, or actually not winning a contest, costume contest to go to an Oscar party, and we lost, and we got a trip to Vegas instead. I don't know, maybe it was better than the limo ride and the Oscar party, but I just happened to be down here in Beverly Hills today, and I recognized this house. Everybody probably recognizes that house right there. One time when I did see this house right here was when I was at this house for an Oscar party. I actually went to an Oscar party right here at this house. I am going to walk across the street. That was back when I worked in film and television. I'm going to walk across the street because there is one thing about this house that I want to see. And that is they had so much tropical milkweed over here in their garden. And there's lots of monarch butterfly. Let's see here. That's the tropical style milkweed right there. And the last time I was here, there was tons of monarch butterfly larvae, caterpillars on them. There's a ladybug. No caterpillars yet. They encourage us not to plant the tropical variety, and you can tell the tropical variety because it's got this orange. I had one sprout in my backyard one time. I left it. I took it out. I didn't let it come back. But the tropical variety, they say it confuses the butterflies because it doesn't die back. It's not seasonal, really, in the way that the other one is. So it kind of tricks the butterflies into staying around when they should be moving on. Speaking of moving on, I got to move on. I am going, well, there's a look at that place again once more. I'm not here for that house. I mentioned the Oscar party yesterday that we didn't win. But then after that, about, I don't know, that was in like 97. And then I went into the film and television business in like full-time 2005. And I went to an Oscar party right at that house right there, the one with the columns in the front. Got to go back to Ventura, and I am going to stop at the Starbucks that almost gave me a heart attack. I'll explain that then when I get there. And then there's a waterfall that sprouts up after the rains, and it typically stays going. It's in Malibu. Not Malibu. It's by Deer Creek Road. It's actually in Ventura County. But we're going to go check that out. Let's get on the road and go see that. I really like this little place along PCH. They have the way they got it. I don't know what you call this stuff, like aged wood or something like this. Let me show you here. It's got like a gray tone to it, which, I don't know. I like the buildings. I don't know about the stones. The stones got a little yellow, a little bit too much yellow in it to go with this gray. A gray color stone would have looked better, to tell you the truth. But I like the treatment on the wood. It's kind of cool. I don't know what that's called. It looks like pine. I bet you it is pine. But it's been aged and weathered and treated in such a way that it has a cool look. I guess that's the address right there. Right here on PCHO. I gotta tell you what happened one time. I'll sit down here. So I came to the Starbucks one time. And Starbucks, dude, seriously. I asked for a small cafe breve. And I don't even want to say it. If I wanted a cup of hot milk, I would have asked for a cup of hot milk. I like coffee, so I like there to be some coffee flavor in here. What happened to these supposedly specialty coffee places? Sorry, it's frustrating when you go to a place that's supposed to know how to make coffee and supposed to make good coffee, and they give you a cup of hot milk. What happened was, I stopped in there. This is when they first started selling the nitro. And they used to sell it in a large, like a big, like I don't know if it was 20 ounces or bigger, but it was a big cup. That got my heart racing so much that I ended up in the hospital later that night. And it was just, my heart wouldn't stop running. And the people next to me, like you could hear through the curtains at the hospital, you know how it is. And they had the same exact issue. They had had too much caffeine, heart was racing, wouldn't slow down. So funny that that happened to both of us, but they don't sell that size anymore. I don't know if they kept having problems or what, but they don't sell the large nitro anymore. I don't even know if they sell nitro anymore. I think they do, but not the big one. Not anymore. I stopped here at the Waterfall, got my crappy cup of hot milk, and trust me, it has nothing to do with the fact that I wanted a breve versus a latte versus a this or a that. Even if I had just ordered a straight latte, so many of the Starbucks out there, I mean, all the ones I've been to, they hand you a cup like this, and it's as heavy as a cup of just hot milk. Take some pride in your stuff, people. It's supposed to be steamed like, you know, frothed. Okay? Not like maybe not like a cappuccino, but not like a cup of hot chocolate, okay? I don't mean to be a downer, but $6.80 for a cup of hot milk. Oh. Poor raccoon. I hope I don't end up like that. I hope I get to come out of here. This is the path to this waterfall that is springing out of the side of the mountain here. You have to understand, we're very dry here, like super dry. And this thing, it doesn't run all the time, but if we get a good rain, like really good rain, this will run all year. And this isn't even the peak flow right here. A lot of times it runs heavier than this. Obviously, when it's actively raining, it's going to run quite a bit heavier. But it will spring all throughout the year. Let's see here. Let's go up to the top where you can really see the flow there. I've often thought about climbing up to the top of this thing and seeing what's up there, you know. Is there like a stream that goes back? Maybe I can go on what do you call that? Google Maps, and look and see if the stream goes back or if it just starts kind of gushing out of the mountain right here. But it's kind of cool. In fact, I'm going to tell you, I think there's been years upon years. Oh, we're right by the military base. Look at that. It's a big, I'm right by Point Magoo. So like a big, I don't know, C-17, no, C-130? I don't know. Whatever the propeller one is. There's been years upon years. I'm talking like 10-year periods where I don't think I saw this thing ever run. And then we had a couple of good rains. And then the next thing you know, it starts up. And it's one of those things where if it's actively raining, yes, you will see water coming down here. But sometimes it takes a good couple of weeks to get going to where it'll just spring like this. A couple of years ago when we had like some serious rains, when our lake in Ventura is Lake Casitas. So they built that in 1958. It did not fill up until 1978. So it took 20 years to fill up, to go from nothing to full. It was down to like 41%, right? So less than half. It caught up like in one season. It went from less than half to full in one season. I came out a different way. It looked easier this way, but It's kind of not. That's how much rain we had. And this thing ran straight for like 2 years. It got really, 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 like a trickle, like it was just moist there towards the end. But then we just got a bunch of rain earlier this year. There is a hole. Look at this hole. What lives in something like that? Wow. So this was wet. This was wet and now it's drying out and it's cracking. But what makes a hole like that? A rabbit? I guess a rabbit. Snakes don't make holes. I don't know. I'm working my way back to the road here. Back to the PCH. Maybe I'll walk across. Let's go see if we can see where the water's coming out here. Let's see. I'll have to brave the traffic. Get across here. Clear over here. Look at this. I don't even have to run. Oh, I could lay down and do some push-ups in the middle of the road. I don't think I'll do that. But let's go see if we can. Let me get a good run up this. Let's see if we can locate where the water is coming out down here. No discernible stream or wet spots or anything that I see. Maybe it just goes into the ground and then that goes away. Maybe it doesn't continue along here. See how these rocks kind of poke out into the water? Well, there's a couple of parks going down that way, like El Matador State Beach and stuff like that. We're right by Sycamore Canyon, so Sycamore Canyon is the next the next thing that has a name going this way, and then going this way is Deer Creek Road. That's the next thing. Someone in my wife's family made that road with a Caterpillar tractor way back when they owned all that property up there. I do see a pipe coming out here. See that pipe right there? But there's no water running out. One time, one of my students, and he's actually a friend of mine, we remained good friends after film school. His student project, he wanted to do something related to an island. I don't know if it's the fact that his father is from Rapa Nui, Easter Island, He's not just from there, he lives there. And he grew up on the island too. So he's like, yeah, I want to do this thing about a guy stranded on an island who maybe he finds like just some stupid little thing that rescues him from the island, like, I don't know, like a top off of a Coke can, like a can of Coke or something, just something very small and mundane and random. And he thought that would be kind of fun to make that a short film for his final project before graduating. And I suggested to him, I said, you know what would be funny? I said, what if he finds something on the island as he's looking around that makes him not want to leave the island? Maybe he finds something on the island and then he, starts telling people, not telling people to go away, but not trying to attract attention when boats go by or even hiding from them, just kind of flip the script, basically, make it to where he doesn't want to leave the island. So what he did is he came up with this old guy who was stranded on an island. He got a really, really kind of gnarled old actor with a beard and everything. He looks like he was rescued from an island. The guy is stuck on the island and a big bale washes up that's full of cocaine. And by the end of the movie, the guy's got the stuff all over his face. He's dancing on the beach. He goes and hides from a ship that's going by. So it was just kind of like just flip the script on its head, basically. Turn it into something completely unexpected. So this is the ocean I drive by sometimes when I don't want to go on the 101. And you'll often see dolphins out here. Pelicans and dolphins. A lot of times. I've pulled over several times to take video of dolphins. I probably have it in there. I could just drop it in and act like it's in this video. Hey, look at the dolphins. We saw dolphins here about 2 weekends ago as we were going down. All right. Well, I think that's all for today. I hope you enjoy this little episode. Hopefully more than I enjoyed my cup of hot milk from Starbucks, my $6.80 hot milk from Starbucks. And thank you for spending your time with me. And I'll see you tomorrow. And until then, take care.